Hello y'all, time for another episode of Maybe I'm Rambling Today. Less faith in food, let's see why. How farmers and scientists strive for more flavor as a re-emerging trend. Without a doubt, says Franco Fubini, founder of fruit and vegetable supplier Natura. You might be surprised that flavor ever went out of fashion. I want nutrients, not flavor. But finding truly tasty fruit and vegetable varieties can be difficult, largely due to the requirements of supermarkets. He says, they started demanding that varieties have a longer shelf life. So for example, in the case of a tomato, it has a thicker skin, so the skins don't split more easily. A tomato that perhaps ripens faster, that can absorb more water. So over time you breed your varieties for attributes other than flavor. The flavor attribute starts falling in importance. And as nature has it, if you breed for other traits you breed out flavor. Again, nutrients are more important than flavor. Mr. Fubini's company specializes in seasonal produce selected for flavor, and sells its produce to restaurants and high-end shops around the world. Some of this rebirth comes from restaurants because chefs have quite a lot of influence, he says. That and travel have both spurred on this rebirth of flavor. This search for flavor. Breeders and researchers are leading this search, using sophisticated techniques to produce fruit and vegetables that have all the flavor of traditional varieties, while still keeping the supermarkets happy. Professor Harry Clay of Florida University's Horticultural Sciences Department is working to understand the chemical and genetic makeup of fruit and vegetable flavors, focusing on the tomato. The tomato has been a long-term model system for fruit development. It has a short generation time, great genetic resources, and is the most economically important fruit crop worldwide. Better idea, how about use real vegetables and fruit and decrease the price? It was only the second plant species to get a complete genome sequence, a huge help in studying the genetics of an organism. Dude, stop programming plant DNA. Plant flavor is a complex phenomenon. In the case of a tomato, it stems from the interaction of sugars, acids and over a dozen volatile compounds derived from amino acids, fatty acids and carotenoids. Let's keep as it is. Professor Clay wants to identify the genes controlling the synthesis of the flavor volatiles, and using this to produce a better tasting tomato. It's not quite at the stage where we have completed assembling the superior flavor traits into a single line, but we expect to be there in another year or so, he says. This is why I don't trust GMOs. Leave the plant as it is possible to use genetic modification, GM, to improve flavor by importing genes from other species. But in much of the world, produce created this way is banned. However, other forms of genetic manipulation are more widely accepted. U.S. firm Pairwise is working on new fruit and vegetable varieties by using CRISPR, gene editing technology licensed from Harvard, the Broad Institute and Massachusetts General Hospital, rather than taking genes from other species, like GM. CRISPR involves tweaking existing genes within the plant by cutting and splicing. Oh, that is so much better. We're making very small changes in 1 or 2 pieces of DNA. How about stop doing it, says Pairwise co-founder Haven Baker. Such gene editing is considered non-GM in most of North America, South America and Japan. However, in Europe, where genetic modification is highly contentious, it is considered GM and is kept under strict regulation. Bear in mind, most of America's food is banned in all countries, just so for you to know. Having left the EU, the UK has launched a consultation on using gene editing to modify livestock and food crops in England. Even in the US, where views are less entrenched, Some growers are wary of genetic modification. Yeah, who wants apples that are not real apples? Our food has not been real in a very long time. And this crap is why. We are not fans of it at all. While sometimes innovation done right maybe does work well. We believe in tradition and not necessarily messing with things, and going back to nature and the way nature functions, says Mr. Fubini. Finally, someone with some common sense. Don't change a working formula. But that's enough for today. That was another episode of Maybe I'm Rambling, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So it's time to bounce, homies.